Welcome to this edition of Chaos's Laboratory. Captain is somewhere in there. We have the Zombie Plane Ride, and it arrived with the witch making a getaway. So it probably broke off in transit, but that's why they make glue. So you turn it on, you got lights, you got no sound and no movement. Here's the movement. Alright. I'm going to have to say it's probably got a bound up gear because it's getting jerky.
But still no audio.
No, and the inner row of lights look dim.
Apparently if you tilted it moved.
Yeah, I bet you it's bound up internally.
Let's see if it does its reset.
Oh, they came to a stop. And there we go. Lift. Yeah. There's going to be probably a broken gear or slipping belt. So now we need to get into it.
Alright.
Lights, motion, and sound. So we have some motion, lights, and no sound.
I'm gonna guess. Take those out and there's screws underneath, maybe?
Pop one, we'll take a look.
Hey, look at that. Oop.
Is there a screw down in there?
Yep. Where's my magnet of holding screws? So here in the base they have those little foam feet, and underneath those glued in or stickied in foam feet is some small Phillips head screws. One of the feet hit the floor. Stay. Now we just take out these screws here in the bottom. There are 6 of them.
Let's take the top off too. Where's the other rubber foot?
Yeah, it's on the floor. Unfortunately, one when I was popping it off, shut off. There we go. Gotcha. Alright, 6 or 6 screws.
Be held in the center hub.
I don't think the center's removable. Let's see if I can pop that. Here we go. No, the center hub is separate from the bottom. Did I just miss a screw? Or is there just some glue? Oh, there's a dab of what looks to be hot glue or something right there.
And then you got to take the zombie off the tower right here at the base.
How do you do that?
Carefully. Heat and
To pop the whole thing?
Yeah, there's a screw in the center.
Yeah, but it doesn't hold it onto the base. Oh, there we go. Hot glue's popping. Yeah, the base is completely separate from that.
Well, we should be able to get to the motor then.
Yep. Yeah, there's just a slight dab of glue. Yeah, you can see inside there's nothing.
I see the motors.
Yep. Just trying to get this one little dot of glue to pop. Heat gun maybe?
Where is it?
Right there. Single dot. Like hot glue or resin. Right at the dead center of the gates. Looking for my the spudger. Yeah, right there. There it goes. Yeah, you can see the residue. They put a line of glue right there.
That's it.
Got it. Line of glue's popped.
There's the speaker.
Oh. For the moment, unplug it. Let's see. Oh, good, it's on a plug. So this rear sign here is on a plug. And you can just pull out the entire center, and the base can go off to the base can go off to the side. And now we have access to the underside of the unit. What is that? It's like silicone or no, it's grease. Okay. Do we have the? There was two pieces of foam that held this. Want to grab those? That held the planes down. One moment. Getting the foam collar. There we go. And do we have a box I can set this on? So now the foam collar will hold the planes, and then we're going to grab a box or something to set this on. Give us something to work with here. There we go. Now it's protected and I can work on it.
Looks like we got 3 screws.
Yep.
And there's slack. There is.
Interesting.
Yeah, the speaker was glued in here. And hopefully it was glued that way.
I'm guessing, yeah. But it's weird that it had hot glue instead of super glue or resin, I guess.
Yeah, speaker looks okay, but there's no sound. So we'll check that out. Yeah.
Take out the drive assembly first. Yep.
Gotta take the top of the hub off.
Yep. There's a single screw down the center of that top piece.
Yep. Flip it over. Get the heat gun fired up. Remove the foam. We don't melt it. This section here comes off right where this colored barrel is. You got to get it warm and start to separate it.
See if I can find a spot where I can get ready for the spudger. Sure it's not the colored base here?
Correct.
To the plastic? No. Hold that. Looks like I almost. I can at least see a little bit in there. There. I don't see a way to get a tool in there very easily.
You got to get it hot to where it breaks down the resin. It's the same with what we did on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But not so hot that you melt it. Hot enough to break the resin, but not hot enough to distort the plastic or resin base. The heat stick is set for 150 degrees Celsius, which is pushing 300 Fahrenheit. There's going to be a lot of glue in there. One moment. We're back. Lots of heat. You can see the painted resin right here to get it off of this drum to get to that screw that's down in the center. And just so you know, this is extremely hot.
Just a bit.
The
Also, mild suggestion, don't point the heat gun at your hand. It gets really warm.
The temperature I bumped it up to was 200 degrees Celsius to help break the glues down faster. Excuse you.
Yeah, sorry, chair noise.
And so that's about 400 and change Fahrenheit.
With a very tight screw. Let's go to a bigger screwdriver.
How big is the screw?
There it is. There it goes. Just need a little bit more pressure.
So this is similar to how carousels are made, where there's a center screw in the top hub. This part, though, is probably going to be your most difficult piece to get free.
Alright. Does that unplug?
It should. I saw it plugs on the bottom of the board.
Yep.
Here's the screw. It's the green and black one right here.
Nope. It's the
black and white one.
Black and white one. Yeah, where is it? Because I don't see a black and white. Okay, yeah. So follow that around, and it's soldered onto the board.
But now they're slack.
There we go. That's a little better. That is very weird. Purple
grease.
Apparently. Alright, I think we're going to have to desolder it to separate it. Or clip the wires just above the board and we can resolder them. Take a picture. So it's always best to take a picture if you're going to remove wires, so you know where they went.
Hold on, hit the wrong button. There you go. Cut them just a hair above the solder.
Yep. That way we have a... So now the top and the bottom are now separate. Alright. So we will now come over here to the plugs and unplug the outer ring light,
which is labeled
LED, and then we'll unplug the secondary circuit board, which I'm guessing controls the small LEDs around the center. Alright, that way we now have this piece is now separate, and the planes is now separated as well. I'll set over here to the side carefully, and now we can work on the drive unit, which has a piece of foam stuck in the rubber track, I guess, for the...
Yeah, that's what makes it go up and down.
Yep.
Let's plug it in and
see what it does. Plug is right here. Now the up and down motion's working, but there it goes. So it lifted them up. The center, something's clicking.
I guess that outer gear.
Okay, so the planes run on that hexagonal piece.
Yeah, this is the side that's slipping.
Yeah, except the up and down motion stopped.
So the up and down only goes up and down when you turn it on.
Okay.
So if you turn it off, it'll go back down.
Okay.
Turn it off, see if it does that high-pitched squeaking.
Hang on, I was trying to see if I could see a gear cracked or what's skipping. Oh, here it is. Alright, so now it's lowering the mechanism. Okay, I see.
And it's probably going to be that gear there.
So it raises them back up. Looks like the two big gears are bouncing off of each other. I can't really see. A lot of oil and grease.
When it skips, I want to mark the gear. I think it's that one right there.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see, is this screwed on, or is this that just lifts off? Okay, now we can get a little better look.
Open that gearbox on that side.
Yep.
But the motors look like they're working perfect.
Do turn it off.
It's going to click. And without the pressure, it didn't fully disengage. Unplug it.
So we'll unplug it.
That way. This white piece here with the 3 teeth has an arm that swings back and forth for its resets, and without the weight it can't push this micro switch in all the way. So I just push it with my finger so it stopped rotating.
Drive belt out of the way. One of the screws is underneath this center ring, so we'll pull that out to get to all the screws on this side of the drive system.
While he's doing that, that's the finger that disengages and re-engages on the micro switches, and this is the teeth arc that lifts and lowers the plane. So it's not a full gear, it's just a 40-degree arc.
Some slack. This wire for the micro switch is pretty tight. I don't want to break it. So we'll get ourselves our slack on those so we can lift this up. There we go.
Hot glue.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good groove cut in it.
Yep, that it do.
Well, I'm more interested in this gear here.
Yep. I'm just trying to see if I can break these wires free so I can move it off.
Yep.
To pop the hot glue with the spudger. It's slimy with grease.
Yeah.
Probably lithium grease.
Yeah, they're good at that. That's what burns out the motors, is the excessive amounts of grease. Luckily, these motors are pointing up and the grease is below it.
There we go. So, carefully pull out that gear. And now let's take a look at that gear. Yep. Teeth.
Got a broken tooth.
Yep, broken tooth. That's where it skipped. And probably if it shuts off and gets stuck there, that's why it doesn't move.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, I'll use a black cast for a... There's some broken teeth right here. Problem is, this is the only gear of Lemax I cannot find.
Hmm.
Can you wipe that off and tell me if there's a part number on there? So I'm hoping one day one will. Might as well check the rest of the gears. Because the most common failure is usually the 10 tooth. Is there a number on it?
Nope. There is not a number. Oh wait, there is a number 1.
Anything on the other side?
Nope. Just a number 1 on the back. Yep, there is one. 2 teeth broke.
Alright, so we think we found the biggest issue as far as...
Now we need to figure out where there's no sound. Yep. So let's plug in the speaker, which goes there. And plug it back in one more time.
Problem is the micro switches won't be engaged.
Yep.
Okay.
Sound works. Wonder if the speaker was wedged because it broke free.
Or connection had failed.
Speaker works. I believe it's the other side. There you go.
Plug it.
There we go.
Just inspect the rest of them. Both sides. It's usually the fine side that breaks, the smaller gear. The other ones look okay from up here.
Yep. Don't see any issue with those gears.
The other way, I think.
Oh, did I put it on backwards?
Yes.
That's why I edit the videos and there we go. Yep. So we have one damaged gear on this side. Like he said, let's pop off this side and just confirm. Remove the drive belt. Put the other one over here.
This gear's too big.
Okay. That gear looks good. No damage to that one. That one looks good. Don't see any signs of damage on any of those. Come on. There we go, back to position. Spinning the gears, they all spin smoothly and no catches. So I believe that side is all set to go. So it's just the one gear at the moment. There we go. So we'll put this set of gears all back together since they're all good. While we see Captain Chaos over here is looking to see if he can find a replacement gear. Now put the drive belt back on. Make sure nothing got bound up while we put it back together.
Let's put this on so we don't lose it.
Yep.
Alright, well, I'm going to have to stop for the moment and try and research and find this gear. So,
helps if I hold it into the camera, so yeah, that gear right there.
yeah, it's the same gear they use on the lifting mechanism for the Ghost Around, Roundup. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a common gear for things that lift and spin. It's just a hard gear to find replacements for. So, we're going to do some searching. I'll go through my buckets of gears and I'll see what I can find on the internet. If we can find a gear that's online, we can leave a link to where to get it, since it's a very common gear on a lot of things that lift and rotate. So, shall return. Welcome back. We figured out a solution for now that will allow this to function again versus having it not spin and lift correctly due to the broken tooth or teeth. Go ahead and turn on. With sound. There we go. So, lifts and moves. Then if we turn it off, it'll go into its reset and off. It's similar to what I've had to do in the past with some of the Ghost Arounds and Roundups. The gear over here goes 360 degrees. It spins in a circle. Gear over here doesn't. It only goes in the same arc as that center hub. So if you rotate or switch the gears, because they're the same gear, and make it so the broken teeth are not in that arc, it functions again. The reason it's a temporary fix is eventually there's a chance that this gear will re-break, so we need to locate that gear. It is a compound gear. I'm just trying to find the right ratio. Right now I'm having some difficulties locating the ratio. With the number 1 on the back, it doesn't make much of a difference. A lot of gears have the number 1 on the back. So, but at the moment, it's back to functioning, and with the broken teeth on the opposite side of the arc, it's going to work just like it did before.
So, time to reassemble.
It's time to do the reassembly and getting it back together, which is just the reverse process of taking it apart, except we got to solder the 2 wires we had to cut to get the center hub off.
Yep.
And then this is unique. You got the cracks in the top that are painted, and this is smooth, but you can see they emulated the cracks on the bottom, which is kind of weird. It's just kind of strange.
Right.
It's a smooth disc instead of making it just one side.
Oh no, there's indents.
Yeah.
Where the cracks are, yeah.
On the bottom.
Yep.
Smooth. So we'll put a dab of hot glue back on these wires and reassemble the hub. Put it back together.
Put the speaker back actually clipped in there so it's not rattling around.
Yeah, and re-glue it.
Yep.
And then make sure it still works when it's fully assembled under all of its motion, sound, and lights.
Alrighty.
So we shall return in just a moment. You don't have to watch the next 20 minutes reassembly. Again, it's just the opposite of disassembly.
Yep.
Once we verified all works, the last thing we'll do is glue this on. So this will not be glued on until it's tested. Be back in a moment. Okay, it's all back together except for the top guy at the moment. So we can test it out fully assembled. Sound works. Planes are lifting. Even glued on the witch. There we go. And then when you turn it off, it doesn't do that grinding to a stop anymore either. Resets, drops, and off. So all I think left to do is to glue in the rubber feet that go in the bottom, little fellas, and to glue the top back on. Other than that, she is done. Just swap the gear out and have to try and find a replacement gear for the future, but at the moment it's back to normal. The other gear should be good to go since it's under a lot less stress. Alright, till the next one. Okay, top's glued on, and now we'll do a test in low light so you can see what it looks like if you haven't seen it in low light. There you go. You got the outer lights flashing, the inner lights flashing, the zombie signs lit up. It's all good. Turn it off, it'll do its power down. And done. There you go. So that's what it looks like in low light if you haven't seen it before, fully assembled. Have a good one.